Welcome. Welcome to Sunday Soundtrack. This is episode number 10, and right off the bat, this may be the last episode for a little while, and I'm going to tell you why. It's all good news. It's a good thing, but we are going to have a lot of fun today because it is a special Sunday soundtrack. It is we have a lot more songs ahead of us. I am just kind of cleaning out things right now. I'm cleaning out the songs that I have had ready for a while because I'm going to be working on a lot more in the coming weeks as the show goes into a little bit of what would you call it? It's the end of season one. So stay tuned for season two after this. Let's take a look. We have a lot of songs that I am considering playing for you. Usually we do 11 to 12 songs. We're thinking about even more this week, a little bit longer. So hopefully you're around to stick with me this time. And I'm just checking on the phone to make sure that this one is up and running just fine. I see no reason why it shouldn't be. So let's just start it off with our first song. To those that are new to Sunday Soundtrack Radio Hour, I'm still trying to find out whether or not it's up and running. Like every week that I do this, I'm like, is it going? Is it streaming? Are people here? What do we got going? How long is the delay on the show? All these things run through my head, but I see no reason why we're not running. So with that, let's just start it off. We start off the show with a choir type, a very traditional sounding song, because at the end, it is not going to be traditional. And I will jump back in when you guys are more people have started to after the song, which is when more people start to pile in that are listening live. All right, here we go. All right, that was our first song, and we are going to do things a little bit different this week since we have quite a few songs in store. We are going to be willing to replicate styles this week. So, right off the bat, we have another choir song that we are going to be doing. All the meanwhile, I'm going to be trying to use that time to publicize that we have this live show going on. That is sometimes what I'm doing behind the scenes while also communicating on the live chat with the people that are alive. Hello, Kristen. Hello, Jody. Hello, Sarah. It's great to see you all here. We have, let's just kind of tease you a little bit first off the bat. We have this next one will be a choir a cappella song of Softly Beams, the Sacred Dawning. We'll have a song that features quite a bit of harp music. We'll have some like classical type singing. We'll have some soft type stuff, then moving into kind of a 1950s, I want to say barbershop, but then it goes into this kind of fun cinematic moment that it has, and then back into barbershop, which I love. I love the two styles in one sort of song. Um, I know that's not for everyone. They're like, just stick in your one lane. I'm like, mix it up. A little bit of both. A crooner song. We got some ethereal stuff. We've got some folk music. We have an Afrobeat song, a bossa nova. So one of our first of those types. We have a kind of a guitar mariachi, but it's a very soft, it's almost like a country song with a mariachi beat. We do have two country songs this time, and we got ourselves a 1980s new wave. And we do end up with a little bit, I haven't done it in a while, we do end up at towards the end with a little bit of more rock, like not just like alt rock, but rock rock. So I am excited for you all to listen to that. I'm going to take a moment and kind of publicize that this is going to be the last live show for a little while. Not, we're not ending, but a last show for a little while. And I'll tell you why, but you're going to have to wait a song or two. Next, we have kind of a choir a cappella, Brightly Beams the Sacred Dawning.
Softly beams the sacred dawning on the break millennial morn, and to saints its welcome warning that the day is hastening on, that the day is hastening on. Splendid rising o'er the mountains, glowing with celestial shield, streaming sun, on eternity above. Rays of living God, rays of living Swiftly flee the clouds of darkness, speedily the mysteries hide. Nature's universal blackness is consumed by heavenly fire, is consumed by heavenly when the world will be at rest. Rapidly is drawing nearer, then all Israel will be blessed. Then all Israel will be blessed. Then all Israel will be blessed. Then all Israel will be blessed.
That was quick. I barely got the message off to the socials that our show is live. So I do enjoy having people here live, the interaction, just having in my mind like there is a specific audience. I can think Oh, well, there's always dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of people that listen to the show eventually, but having one person in mind, two people in mind, kind of crafts how I want to make it happen. I don't know if you've had that experience before, maybe giving a talk at church or maybe business or something like that, and you're up on stage or up in front at the podium, and you look out into the audience, and someone catches your eye, and you're like, and it kind of almost directs like there's someone listening. There's 100 people out there, but that one person at least is there and is listening. They look like they're tuned in, and I can continue. It just feels open. And I know we don't all function the same way, but that's how I kind of experience things. If there wasn't someone here, I'd be a little bit lost. So I love when people are listening live. And okay, so to get to it, and I know that people that are listen to the show often, they love hearing the history of these songs. Um, well, let's well, what is the show even about? We will get to the history of some of the songs a little bit later. Um, and don't fret, that is going to be a part of today's show. I wanted to kind of run down why I started this show and what it's about, and then why we are doing a little bit of a break. But I am quite a big tease, so we're just going to jump into our next song, and we're going to let you wait for a moment. And I will say hello to Dr. Pepper Drinker and Jet, who are also joining us live, and along with the other people I mentioned earlier, and the people that are here that haven't jumped onto the chat yet. So, all right, our next one is it's fun because it features a lot of harp, and it is the song God is Love. It is the hymn. What do we call it? A hymn now that it's not really in hymn format? Or just the song, I guess, God is Love. Here we go.
Earth with her 10,000 flowers, air with all its beams and showers, heaven's infinite expanse, sea's resplendent countenance, all around and all above, bear this record: God is love. Sounds among the vales and hills, in the woods and by the rills, of the breeze and of the bird, by the gentle murmur stirred. Sacred songs beneath above have one chorus: God is love. All the hopes that sweetly start from the fountain of the heart, all the bliss that ever comes to our earthly human homes, all the voices from above sweetly whisper, God is love.
Well, if that isn't a pretty song, then I'm not sure what is. I just think that one's just so soft and so serene. Okay, so story time. It was last year. I was consuming a lot of informational podcasts, just a lot going on in my head. I love always having information flowing in. It makes me happy, but it was a bit much. And it's hard to quiet the mind at times, a lot going on. And I thought to myself, maybe I should listen to a little bit more music. I grew up with music. I was in choir for all like just 5, 6 years through junior high and high school. I don't know, is that 6 years? I don't know, seventh to 11th grade. That's not 6 years. My math is bad. But and choir and church and all this stuff and music was a part of my life. I consumed a ton of music growing up, the radio, cassette tapes to CDs to making mixes to visiting my local institute and just trying to copy like onto CDs for personal use, of course. Um, from the cassettes to CDs, all this music that they had at that time. And I just loved the music and it touched me a lot. All this music that was, uh, spiritual or religious based. And so when I got back last year and I started to listen to a lot more music, a lot more Christian, contemporary Christian music, touching lyrics, I noticed that it was impactful. It would, I would feel, I would feel my God's love more from that music than a lot of other things that I would do that are said to be done. And I was like, well, God speaks to us in different ways and music was one of mine. Um, and then, on another venue, I consume a lot of informational, and I love tech stuff, and I work in that area of tech, and I am very consistent on AI information, and so I thought, let's give it a shot. Let's play with these AI programs. And so this little combination, this bringing together of my fascination and a lot of time I spent with tech and my love of music and my love of God and the gospel kind of came together and I started to create music. Then my incessant desire to create huge projects. I once traveled around the country for 14 months to photograph religious buildings and temples. I thought, well, what would be a huge, overwhelmingly large project? How about a cover of all the hymns, 300 plus hymns, and multiple styles? How about that? How about it? So we have covered quite a few um, uh, of different styles in the show so far through 10 episodes. Now, we've had at least 11 songs on every episode, sometimes 12. So we're up to over 120 songs. We'll probably end with close to 130 in this first season of the Sunday soundtrack. All right, and as to why we're doing a pause, we'll wait for that after the break. I just wanted to give you the first part of the story. Our next up is another soft song. We are going a little bit slower, like very soft, soft. It'll be very gradual this week. We will end with a little bit rowdy at the end, but it's going to take us some time to get there. So, without further ado, now thank we all our God.
Now thank we all our God with hearts and hands and voices, who wondrous things hath done, in whom his earth rejoices, who from our mother's arms hath blessed us on our way with countless gifts of love, and still is us today.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that one. It's kind of a classical singer sort of vibe going on. What I love is that we have more people here live listening to the show than any previous of the live shows. So I hope the new people or old people are really enjoying the show. We've got a lot of great music in store for you. From I mean, we've got samba this time, even a couple of great country songs. We've got some R&B, some pop, some 80s. We're going to end up at the end with some rock, some alt rock, and then a little bit harder rock. That song was written, and this is part of the show that we do, is that we kind of share some aspects of about the original song. These are all covers of hymns uh, by AI and my work on it. Um, and this song was written back in the 1600s in Germany. So this isn't the original because that would have probably been in an old German style. Um, so it does say that it was written in 1636, and it was, excuse me, obviously, since I don't speak German, Nun danket alle Gott. That sounds about right. I think I did an okay job with that. And this is by Martin Rinkart. We've played some of his songs before. I'm actually not sure. Maybe it was this particular song, but um, it's a similar story about Martin Rinkart and him being a minister and preaching during a time where there was a lot of refugees, there was war, and there was, because of war and refugees, and there was famine, and famine leads to plagues and all this stuff. And he at one point was conducting up to 50 funerals a day. So he had buried 4,480 people that year, including his own wife. That was the year that he wrote this song. Now thank we all our God. What I find fun, and maybe one of the projects that I will be doing, is to kind of put some of the songs together. How fun would it be to do perhaps an album or a playlist of all country or all rock all together? Or maybe if I have enough of one particular song to kind of put them together or to put them in order of the LDS hymn book. I have a lot of things that I'd like to do beyond just creating the live show on Sundays. But sometimes all I seem to get to do is the live show on Sunday and scramble to make a bunch more songs just in time for the show. But that's all right. It's been a good thing. I will continue on that subject, but less talk, a little bit more music. Our next song is going to be hymn number 16, What Glorious Scenes My Eyes Behold. We are still in the kind of soft, easy flow for this evening so far. We do have a couple of new people listening. I want to give shout outs to McKenna and to Uinta Solitude. Um, Sometimes they're probably friends. I know McKenna, but some of the names are just usernames I'm not as familiar with, but I'm sure they're friends. So hello. And even if they're not, they're new friends. Hello. All right, here we go.
What glorious scenes mine eyes behold! What wonders burst upon my view! When Ephraim's records I unfold, all things appear divinely new. All things appear divinely new. Good news to earth have angels borne, which fills our souls with joy and peace. Good tidings comfort those those who mourn, and bring the captive full release, and bring the captive full release. The scattered sheep who once were sold in darkness o'er the mountains far shall now return unto their fold, and there their waiting hearts prepare, and there their waiting hearts prepare. Now Israel, long oppressed and grieved, in every land, in every clime, shall hear the word of God and live. This is the time, the chosen time. What glorious deeds mine eyes behold.
With
All right. I hope you enjoyed that other very serene, peaceful song. Um, uh, okay, so we've got Kristen saying, I think this one, What Glorious Scenes Are I Behold, is the best one so far this week. Um, uh, and that people do love seeing the words, and I'm not always available, on to scroll down perfectly. It would be fun to have a system that kind of scrolled with it a little bit better, but we also have another person saying that they like that one, um, uh, and that they feel like it's like EFY meets theater ballad. So that's a great description. I This one, as with a lot of early LDS hymns, doesn't have a dynamic story about its creation, but there are usually great stories about the person, about the people. That was William W. Phelps, or W. W. Phelps. Uh, one of the notable parts of his life was, yes, he did write quite a few hymns, quite a few poems, a lot. He wrote a lot for the church. And then at some point in about 1838, um, there was a lot of conflict, a lot of disagreement. Uh, Even for someone that wrote so much beautiful things, he fell away and was excommunicated. Had a lot of issues, a lot of angst in his heart. But the story goes that in about 1840, so it wasn't a very long falling away, he wrote a heartfelt letter to Joseph seeking forgiveness and reinstatement to the church. And this is where Joseph Smith wrote back, "Come on, dear brother, since the war is past, for friends at first are friends again at last." So, like sometimes that just happens in our life, whether it's amongst family or amongst friends, there is a time of falling away. Sometimes it's with God Himself that we can reread this. Come on, um, God sending us a letter. Come on, dear child, since the war in your heart is past. For friends at first are friends again at last. Thought that was a beautiful little analogy there. So thanks for giving me a moment to share that. We are going to continue on, and don't worry, I will continue to share what we plan to do with Sunday Soundtrack here coming in the future. In the meantime, I've got a unique song. It's a 1950s style. It's kind of like barbershop, but it's got this cinematic flair that you'll hear in the song. And this is going to be With All the Power of Heart and Tongue. How many times you've sung that song? None? With all the power of heart and tongue. Tell me if you have, and we will listen to it now.
All the power of heart and tongue, I'll praise my Maker in my song. Angels shall hear the notes I'll raise, approve the song and join the praise. I'll sing thy truth and mercy, Lord. I'll sing the wonders of thy word. Not all thy works and names below, so much thy power and glory show. Amidst 1,000 snares I stand, upheld and guided by thy hand. Thy words my fainting soul revive. And keep my dying faith alive.
Did you guys enjoy that one? It was unique. We did lose a couple people listening live, so I don't know if that was a statement of the song or just timing. People coming in to check out the show, see what it's about, listen to a couple songs. We do have a decent amount of people that will just play it in the background during Sunday, whatever is going on in the house, as they're washing dishes, as they're just gathering as a family, just on in the background. I like that idea of it's almost like the old tube radio, sitting there tuned in, listen to the show. If family's going about their business, maybe, or they're attentive, listening. Um, yeah, I did get a compliment during that song that someone thinks that they'd like to see me as a conductor for a choir. I think you need a lot more skills than waving your hands and just being passionate about things, but I love it because I enjoy it. And it does connect me to the music as well. So, speaking of connecting to the music, we have a story that may connect you to the music. Isaac Watts complained to his father about the poor quality of the hymns sung in their church. The practice at the time was to sing only metrical versions of the Psalms, which were awkward and unpoetic when translated into English. One Sunday, after another such complaint, his father challenged him, "Give us something better, young man." Watts took up this challenge and wrote his first hymn that very week. He continued to write a new hymn every Sunday for the next 2 years, beginning a career that would revolutionize Christian worship music. When was that? That was the late 1600s, going into the 1700s. So if you're counting up 2 years every week, that would only be 100. Turns out he wrote over 700 songs. Um, uh, so this one is actually a paraphrase of Psalm 145, written by Mr. Watts. All right. Okay. So we are going. I keep just sharing so much history that I'm not getting to you kind of a little bit more of the why a break. Why a break? Because I am on show number 10. This is one of the reasons. I'm on show number 10 and on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon, iHeart Radio, all those ones. So far, only one album of those 9 that I've done previously has made its way. I need perhaps a little more time to do this. Also, I've been doing a lot of songs uh, towards the beginning of the LDS hymn book. I'd like to take a moment and input them all into the system that I use. I use heavily Notion.so. It's a wonderful software, free for everyone to use, great for projects, great for life organization. But I need to probably only take me an hour or two. But it's just those hour or two are ones that I'm just like, I need to make songs for the next show. I need to make songs for the next show. And I appreciate the fact that I've done all these shows right now, and I'm getting a feel for what to do and the diversity and the system that I can do to diversify the music. I've started adding in some African music. This week you're going to hear some more Latin music, samba, mariachi, and we're going to diversify when we come back in and have a bunch more songs. And we're going to have a lot more songs that are available on all those sites. So I would still love for you to jump on and message me directly or message on the shows or on the songs that I start to put up on YouTube and indicate what kind of style you would love to hear. So we've started to do more African music because of requests or African style musics of hymns. So um, so that's another reason. Also, I'm traveling this next week, so I wasn't going to be live on Sunday, and I didn't think I would have time to pre-record. So I thought this was just a good moment to take a break. When I come back on, maybe everyone's like excited for me to be back, and we have a bunch of people listening live, kind of like listening live today for the last one for a moment. So, um, and just I don't know, give me a little bit of break, and I'm gonna work on a ton of songs and get them ready for several shows in the future. I'd love to hear your feedback. For those that have been listening, send me a message, and we'll come back with a vengeance here in the future. And you know, bug me, bug me about it and say, I can't wait till you get back. And that'll get me back a little bit sooner. For example, we have a live listener right here wanting us to do Praise to the Man, hymn 27. Have we done that one already? I have, I have obviously the hymns projects where I show all this information. Um, it's kind of fun. I have a great database. It looks like we've done Praise to the Man in musical format at one time before. And I need to have marked whether or not that actually made it into one of the shows. But I'll probably be upgrading this database of the songs as well in the future during this time as well. Okay, so our next song is very much a similar age period to the last song. It's going to be a kind of a crooner song. And we'll do that followed by an ethereal. So let's do the crooner now.
Come sing to the Lord, His latter days did raise a prophet to his name, the blessed gospel to restore. Come sing to the Lord, his name adore. The prophets of old beheld this day, its God's glory told in wondrous lay. Then at times of fullness ushered in. Come sing to the Lord, his praises The keys of the priesthood of our Lord to us in fullness are restored, their blessings to bestow, and powers divine are manifest. Come sing to the Lord, his name be blessed. Sing
All right. Someone, Dr. Pepper Drinker said this one sounds like something from Disney, an old Disney movie, and I can see it perfectly. That is probably true. People still commenting about my choir directing now. You need to actually have gone to school for that and know a bit, a lot more, like 100 times more than me about music theory and directing and choir. And I get asked often to even go to my own choir at church, and I don't. I do the Insta choirs when they say, "Hey, everyone that wants to sing in the choir today, coming up on stage, we're singing this hymn." And that was today. I did that. I do that all the time, and I try to jump in to the church choir for once or twice a year. I just feel like I love other styles of music more, frankly. And that's probably one of the reasons why I do this show, is to show that the sacred music, the sacred lyrics can be paired with other things and it can touch different people. So sometimes certain choir arrangements are very touching to me as well, but sometimes we are touched by other styles of music. Okay. And on that note about that last song, Jet was thinking that maybe that was the song. It would be fit perfectly for Bambi or Sleeping Beauty, that sort of time period. So I love the little commentary. I love to see more of it, frankly. This has been an awesome show so far with lots of fun commentary. We're going to jump right into, we're starting to get out of the more classical, old style of music, but we are still in kind of the softer style. And so we are going to do Dearest Children, God is Near You. And this is kind of ethereal slash alt pop. So, and then we'll go to an indie style. So you can kind of see that we're migrating changing the styles a little bit. Also, I wanted to say for those that maybe have to take a break at some time this evening, you go and do something, just set your computer or your cell phone, turn down the sound, just let it run. That helps me with the YouTube stuff. It helps me go like, oh, lots of people still listening. So even if you're not listening, you don't have to let me know. Just keep it running in the background or something like that. All right, here we go, dearest children. Here's the song.
Dearest children, God is near you, watching o'er you day and night, and delights to own and bless you. If you strive to do what's right, He will bless you, He will bless you, if you put your trust in Him. Holy angels watch your actions night and day, and they keep a faithful record of the good and bad you say. Cherish virtue, God will bless the pure in heart. Delights to teach you by His Holy Spirit's voice. Quickly heed its holy promptings. Day by day you'll then rejoice. Oh, prove faithful to your God and Zion's cause.
All right, a unique song. This is part of what I was thinking this week, because I kind of just had a bunch of songs that I had kind of they never made it into the other episodes as I was making new songs. I was like, oh, I love these new songs. Let me throw them in. And so some of the older ones never found its way into the episode. Sometimes what I do is I make several versions of the same hymn, and sometimes they can be similar. So if you go back, there's probably another one of this Dearest Children that is a little bit alt pop or ethereal, different. But here's another version of it that uh, I don't know. I don't know how I like it and parts of it, and I think that it's a good one to just kind of show the different styles of music out there. Okay, but the story behind that one is, well, of uh, Brother Walker, Charles Walker's life is pretty fun. He joined the LDS Church, and he came over with the pioneers. He migrated, and when he was 23, mainly it was just him, and he was going to make it to the, well, what would become known as Utah, and then uh, send back money to his parents. Now he was a little bit later on in the story, 1855, so after most of the pioneers had made it, and during his trek, he started to compose poems and songs to lift the spirits of his fellow travelers. And sure enough, when he made it, he worked hard, odd jobs, for 2 years and was able to bring his parents and siblings to join him in Utah. Uh, it wasn't then that he wrote this song, but in 1873, as he was living near St. George, Utah, that he wrote this one. So Just a fun story of one of the many of the pioneers that forged their way and endured some hard times and worked hard and just kind of made a life for themselves and also those of their, of their family as well. All right, we've got an indie song coming up. Now let us rejoice. Let's take a listen to that one as well. Here we go, hymn number 3.
Now let us rejoice in the day of salvation, no longer as strangers on earth need we roam. Good tidings are sounding to us and each nation, and shortly the hour of redemption will come, when all that was promised the saints will be given, and none will molest them from morn until even, and earth will appear as the garden, and Jesus will say to all Israel, come home. We'll love one another and never dissemble, but cease to do evil and ever be one. And when the ungodly are fearing and tremble, we'll watch for the day when the Savior will come. When all that was promised the saints will be given, and none will molest them from morn until even, and earth will appear as the garden, and Jesus will say to all Israel, come home. In faith we'll rely on the arm of Jehovah to guide through these last days of trouble and gloom. And after the scourges and harvest are over, we'll rise with the just when the Savior doth come. Then all that was promised the saints will be given, and they will be crowned with the angels of heaven.
Oh, we had a lot of love for that song, which is part of why I'm doing this show, is to just understand where the love is for some of the songs. Like the people getting excited about the country songs, the folk songs, the foreign songs, the choir songs, the rock songs. Turns out there's a lot of love for the indie songs. Or I suppose that we call that one an indie song. So Um, I don't have too much to share about that song other than it was sung, the original version was sung at um, the founding of the Relief Society of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So it back in, was that 1840? Let me check. 1842. So W.W. Phelps, we have talked about him today, likely wrote the song early on in 1834, and it was the song that was sung for the organization of the Relief Society March 17th, 1842. All right, so our next song, yeah, so I'm just reading some of the comments. A well-known hymn in the style that I'm really liking. So that's kind of the hope is that there's a lot of people out there that have a style that they love and that they'll find it here. Not everyone has that same style, though it does seem that there is a typical type of audience amongst some of my friends and family that they tend to like some of the songs a little bit more than others. So we are going to do some folk, but it's a little bit more upbeat, folk, guitar-y. That's not really a word, but it's got a heavy guitar influence, and it's "Come, All Ye Saints of God."
If eternal has said you shall obtain.
All right, how much of that song was muted? I have no clue as to how it got muted. I clicked nothing, nothing happened. So not sure how much of that song ended up muted. But I think we have a lot of songs this week. And yeah, I turned it back on once I heard some of the people mentioning that it was muted. So, but we are back, and sorry about that. But we have a lot of songs to go through. So it sounds like people didn't hear any of it. Hmm. All right. Well, we shall play. We shall play the first. How about we make a compromise, a verse, maybe two.
Come, all ye saints of Zion, and let us praise the Lord. His ransom are returning according to his word. In sacred song and gladness they walk the narrow way, and thank the Lord who brought them to see the latter day.
All right, so just wanted you to experience a little bit of it. we will start moving on to our next song since we've got a lot going on. And I'm just double checking to make sure that people can hear me live. And but our next one, I hope it works out fine because we've got a fun African style song. Um, yep, it sounds like people are listening live and things are working out. So for our next song, it is For the Beauty of the Earth. I don't know if I did this one last week with a little bit different style. And I do have a little bit of video interference. So if you saw things skipping a little bit, not video interference, a little bit internet delay. So we've got Afrobeat style For the Beauty of the Earth. Now, I'm not an expert on African music, but today I was chatting with someone after church, and I was telling him about this, and I mentioned African style music, and they were interested, and it turns out they knew a little bit. They weren't experts, but they knew a little bit. I played some of the songs that I did last week. And they're like, yep, I can hear it. Even the Cuban style one that I had said, well, that just sounds Cuban. She's like, no, listen, there's some definite African style influence in there. And she pointed out some of the places there. And it's just said that kind of a lot of the Cuban music has an African influence in it. So technically, it was all right that I renamed it Cuban style, like jazz, Cuban jazz, because it's just how that kind of works anyways. All right, and there's obviously lots of African styles. So I don't know exactly which one this fits into, but let's take a listen.
For the beauty of the earth, for the beauty of the skies, for the love which from our birth over and around us lies. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the beauty of each hour of the day and of the night, hill and vale and tree and flower, sun and moon and stars of light. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of human love, brother, sister, parent, child, friends on earth and friends above, for all gentle thoughts and love. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. Grateful, 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 grateful praise.
All right. I think that we're still having a little bit of internet or computer difficulties. So I am not sure what's going to go on with the show here. Maybe it won't last as long as I had hoped it to go. I still, after all these weeks of doing the show, am not entirely sure as to why sometimes this happens. But we've got a lot more songs lined up for us. So I would love to keep going. I'm just trying to check real fast as to what's perhaps going on behind the scenes. I will refrain from showing like a live video. I think it's just my computer heating up, to be honest. That's my best theory right now. Just the computer heating up. I do turn off the air conditioning as it gets loud. That may have an impact on it. So, all right, let's try to give another, because this bossa nova song is going to be kick butt. So I would love for you guys to hear it. Let's give it a shot. Let me know in the comments how it's working out for you.
The Lord my pastor will prepare and feed me with a shepherd's care. His presence will my wants supply and guard me with a watchful eye. My noonday walks he will attend, and all my silent midnight hours defend. When in the sultry glebe I faint, or on the thirsty mountain pant, to fertile vales and dewy meads, my weary wandering steps he leads, where peaceful rivers soft and slow, amid the cooling verdant landscape flow. The Lord my pastor will prepare and feed me with a shepherd's care.
All right, that was a pretty fun version there. I think you guys all liked it. I don't have the hymn number specifically with me on that one, but like most hymns, it's the name of it is the first line of the song usually. So, all right, our next up on the Sunday soundtrack, episode 10. We're checking it out here, and that was "The Lord My Pastor Will Prepare." We've got "I'm a Pilgrim, I'm a Stranger," and this is going to be in a not a very strong mariachi style, very light style, a lot of guitar, a guitar style, like a heavy strumming guitar, mariachi-esque. So, and that last song, The last couple we had a lot of smiles. That one puts a smile on my face. That last one, um, yeah, people seem to like it, and they're requesting Native American vibe on some of the songs. So we'll see what I can do in the future episodes.
I'm a pilgrim, I'm a stranger, cast upon the rocky shore of a land where deathly danger surges with a sullen roar. Oft despairing, lest I reach my home no more. Misty vapors rise before me, scarcely can I see the way. Clouds of darkest hue hang o'er me, and I'm apt to go astray. With the many that are now the vulture's prey. Oh, my Father, I entreat thee, let me see thy beckoning hand. And when straying may I meet thee ere I join the silent band. Guide me, Father, safely to the promised land.
All right, how do people like a bit of like mariachi style? Could you hear it? What did you think? Is it a different style to you? And I think we are cool enough on the computer that I can bring back my lovely face. The last person, someone mentioned that they're not sure about that one. Another person said, maybe it sounds a little bit like a hoedown. It is not so much a country. That is definitely a little bit more mariachi, as far as I know. So, okay, but we are moving out of the kind of Hispanic influence, the Latin influence. We're going to do a little bit of um, rhythm and blues, and it's going to be a pretty popular song, and it's going to be I Need Thee Every Hour. So, and I'm still getting a little bit more of people indicating that it wasn't their favorite one. So, but that's all right because there are lots of styles out there in the world that maybe we don't like, that this is going to be how music touches that other person. That I mean, I'm always like astounded when I hear people listening to very loudly played um, mariachi or kind of like loud, uh, like Hispanic music. Not like rock or some of the stuff that maybe is a style that I'm more akin to, but is a very distinct like Mexican style or other style. I'm just like, I can't handle it. But to them, it's like, well, it's music to their ears. So, um, but probably won't be doing a ton of that, or I'll be looking for other versions of it. Maybe it's just too old of a version. Sometimes we have the old country music that modern country listeners are like, that's not my style. Today at church, someone was saying, well, this new modern country is it's not really country to them. Like country to them is more like a Loretta Lynn, more of a it has more of a deep message. It's more counterculture to them, and a lot of this other music, which we will play kind of a modern and a little bit older style today as well. But anyways, let's go to some rhythm and blues slash a little bit of pop. So popular rhythm and blues.
I need thee every hour, most gracious Lord. No tender voice like thine can peace afford. I need thee, oh, I need thee. Every hour I need thee. Oh, bless me now, my Savior. I come to thee. I need thee every hour. Stay thou nearby. Temptations lose their power when thou art nigh. I need thee, oh, I need thee. Every hour I need thee. Oh, bless me now, my Savior. I come to thee. I need thee every hour, in joy or pain. Come quickly and abide, or life is vain. Oh no, 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 no. I need thee, oh, I need thee. Every hour I need thee. Oh, bless me now, my Savior. I come to thee. Oh, I need thee every hour, most holy one. Oh, make me thine indeed, thou blessed Son. I need thee, oh, I need thee. Every hour I need thee. Oh, bless me now, my Savior. I come to thee. I need thee. Oh, I need thee. Every hour I need thee. Oh, bless me now, my Savior. I come to thee.
Okay, I'm a big fan of that last one. I would definitely listen to that one on a frequent basis. It is one of my favorite songs, and I love the chorus, and the chorus hits really well in that version for me. So, all right. So, one of the next songs that we're going to do, and we're well past the halfway mark, is going to be Rejoice, the Lord is King. We're getting into a little bit more of the, definitely more contemporary. And this one is going to be, well, you know what? We're going to do hymn number 41 first, because the next one, we just got to keep that kind of theme of ramping up a little bit more. So this one's a little bit softer. It's a Christian contemporary song. Let Zion in her beauty rise. And then we'll do a little bit of the, well, either we can do the country next or a little back and forth. We will check it out. I'll make that decision while we're listening to the music. But without further ado, let Zion in her beauty rise.
Let Zion in her beauty rise, her light begins to shine. Ere long her king will rend the skies, majestic and divine. The gospel spreading through the land, a people to prepare to meet the Lord, and Enoch's band triumphant in the air. Triumphant in the air. Ye heralds, sound the golden trump to earth's remotest bound. Go spread the news from pole to pole in all the nations round, that Jesus in the clouds above with host of angels too will soon appear, his saints to save, his enemies subdue. That glorious rest will then commence, which prophets did foretell, when saints will reign with Christ on earth and in his presence dwell. 1,000 years, oh glorious day, dear Lord, prepare my heart to stand with thee on Zion's mount and nevermore to part. To stand with thee on Zion's mount and nevermore to part.
All right. It seems like we had some fans of that last one. Good decision to kind of jump in with that one a little bit first. And we will get back to some of the stories for some of the hymns. I think a couple of the next ones are pretty popular older songs. We are going to kind of move over into a little bit of country, and then we'll do the new wave. New wave is kind of like synonymous with like the 1980s rock style. So so we are going to first do the country, 2 different country songs in a row. All right. Let's start with an old version of country. So kind of like an outlaw country, which works because it is an old song that we are going to be listening to called Rock of Ages. All right, let's take a listen.
Rock of Ages is cleft for me. Let me hide myself in thee. Let the water and the blood from thy wounded side which flowed be of sin the double cure. Save from wrath and make me pure. Could my zeal no respite know? Could my tears forever flow? All for sin could not atone. Thou must save, and thou alone. Ah! While I draw this fleeting breath, when mine eyes shall close in death, when I rise to worlds unknown and behold thee on thy throne, Rock of Ages, cleft for me, let me hide myself in thee.
That style of older country is, I like that style. I like, and it's called sometimes outlaw country. I like that. I don't know all the history behind these different styles, but I will tell you some of the history behind Rock of Ages, that it was written by Augustus Montague Toplady in 1763. He was an Anglican clergyman, born in England, converted to Christianity around 16 during a Methodist revival in Ireland. He became a staunch Calvinist and heated theological debates with John Wesley. He died young, around 38. Now, this song, there's two potential stories of how it was created. Either it was inspired by a John Wesley hymn called Hymn on the Lord's Supper, in which it had similar themes, and this was kind of a preface to John Wesley's song. Or the other story, legend story, is that Augustus had found shelter in a cleft of a rock in Burrington Combe, England, which then inspired him to write this song. Which one do you hope was the real story? I'm guessing it's the second song. We have another country song coming up for you. It is going to be another kind of upbeat country song. And first of all, we have McKenna saying that was a good style of song, or good style for that song. I think you're right. All right, let's go to Come Thou Glorious Day of Promise, another upbeat country song.
Come, thou glorious day of promise, come and spread thy cheerful ray, when the scattered sheep of Israel shall no longer go astray. When hosannas, with united voice they'll cry. Lord, how long wilt thou be angry? Shall thy wrath forever burn? Rise, redeem thine ancient people, their transgressions from them turn. King of Israel, come and set thy people free.
Oh, that soon thou wouldst to Jacob thy enlivening spirit send, of their unbelief and misery. Make, O Lord, a speedy end. Lord Messiah, Lord Messiah, Prince of Peace, o'er Israel reign.
Come, thou glorious day of promise, come and spread thy cheerful ray.
Yeah. Yeah. That definitely had some elements of rock in there, but that's kind of like this bro country sort of style. It is has a lot of rock influence into this country style. Speaking of a little bit of rock, we have a kind of what will make you nostalgic for the 1980s. This is Rejoice, the Lord is King. I do love hearing what you have to think about that. On the last one, someone really enjoyed the album cover. And someone said that they wished that the pronunciation was a little bit better on that one. So, yes, good pronunciation. Definitely, it is not a hallmark of all different styles of music, but country usually has decent pronunciation, right? I don't know. Do they? Obviously, we probably won't be hearing too much mumble rap versions of the hymn. So at least we have better pronunciation than that style. All right, rejoice, the Lord is King.
Rejoice, the Lord is King, your Lord and King adore. Mortals give thanks and sing, and triumph evermore. Lift up your heart, lift up your voice, rejoice. Again I say rejoice, lift up your heart, lift up your voice, rejoice. Again I say rejoice. The Lord, the Savior reigns, the God of truth and love. When he had purged our stains, he took his seat above. Lift up your heart, lift up your voice, rejoice. Again I say rejoice. Lift up your heart, lift up your voice, rejoice. Again I say rejoice. His kingdom cannot fail. He rules all earth and hell. The keys of death and hell to Christ the Lord are given. Lift up your heart, lift up your voice, rejoice. Again I say rejoice. Lift up your heart, lift up your voice, rejoice. Again I say rejoice.
Hopefully my sister was around, both of them, for that kind of like nostalgic 1980s style, new wave style, because that's what I associate that style of music with my sisters. So, all right, we have a couple more songs. We are getting into a little bit of the end of the show where things are going to be a little bit more upbeat. could we say a little bit more rowdy? So if this is where you're like, hey, I just want to have a very calm, peaceful evening, thanks for joining. You don't have to click off of the show. You could just, quiet it if you want. Just so there's more, I'd love to see the views still there as well. But in any case, we are going to move to it's not too rowdy, but it is quirky, this next song that we have planned. Glorious things of thee are spoken, and it's quirky. There's some definite EDM, which is electro dance music aspects to the song, but it's a little quirky. I hope you enjoy it.
Glorious things of thee are spoken, Zion, city of our God. He whose word cannot be broken chose thee for his own abode.
On the rock of ages founded, what can shake our sure repose? With salvation's wall surrounded, thou mayst smile on all thy foes.
See the streams of living waters springing from celestial love will supply thy sons and daughters, and all fear of drought remove. Round each habitation hovering, see the cloud and fire appear, for the glory and the covering, showing that the Lord is near.
Blessed inhabitants of Zion, purchased by the Savior's blood. Jesus, whom the souls rely on, makes them kings and priests to God. While in love his saints he raises, with himself to reign as king. All his priests his solemn praises, for thank offerings freely bring.
Yeah. I told you it would be quirky, and it was, but not rowdy, just quirky. Okay, speaking of a little bit more rowdy, we do have some rock and roll. Some maybe kind of a rock anthem style. Awake, ye sons of God, awake is the name of this song. Let's give you a look at the fun album cover that we have for this one as well. How are you guys liking it? How are you sticking in with it? Do you tend to like the beginning of the show or the end of the show? You get it to kind of relax, peaceful, or do you get it to get you moving? What's the show for you? Now, a lot of the listeners on Sunday may have a different answer to those that listen later in the week.
Awake, ye saints of God, awake. Call on the Lord in mighty prayer, that he will Zion's bondage break, and bring to naught the tempter's snare, and bring to naught the tempter's snare. Though Zion's foes have counseled deep, although they bind with fetters strong, the God of Jacob does not sleep. His vengeance will not slumber long. vengeance will not slumber long. With constant faith and fervent prayer, with deep humility of soul, with steadfast mind and heart, prepare to see the eternal purpose roll, to see the eternal purpose roll. Awake to righteousness be won, or save the Lord, ye are not mine. Ye are not mine. Yea, like the Father and the Son, let all the saints in union join. Let all the saints in union join.
Okay, I changed my mind. That wasn't rowdy. That was just fun. That was a fun one. It's just kind of like this anthem. It's like this happy anthem sort of song. I enjoyed that one more than I remember. Kind of just like that one I had created a while back, and I was just like, I gotta get that one in. I gotta get that one into the show. But usually I just have one kind of like more upbeat one at the end of the show. This week we have two. So here is our next one. It's not hard rock. It's kind of an alt rock, kind of alt hard rock. But it makes sense because the song is called God of Power, God of Right. Just kind of fits the song a little bit better. And then I have a surprise. We are going to end we're going to end with a original, that's a choir, soft spoken choir song to end the show. So it's going to be kind of a back to the roots of the song. Almost 3 choir songs in this episode of this show, I should say. And we did have someone say that it was fun. That last one was pretty fun. Let's hear, where is your kind of like line for that is fun versus I can't do that with. No, a lot of it can be as well. Some of these hymns people have never heard before, and they're probably going to think, yeah, I can listen to a little heavier song of that one because I've never heard it. I don't have any nostalgia for it. I don't have any special connection to that song. But do we have that for God of Power, God of Right is the question. So let's take a look at the song. I've got the lyrics up here for you. Let's hit it.
Teach and bless as we serve. God of light. Forge our souls in living fire, shape them to thy great desire.
I know that stretched some of you listening. It stretched you. But for that style of music, that one hit, and that was good. I like it was a good song. It was a good song, and you know what I like about it? It's probably a song we don't know too much, and it just really fits. It just feels like that was the original, like that was the original way that song was sung. I didn't know it was a hymn. I just thought it was always that way. Some of your kids probably would just love that song. I wish they were all like that. Um, I like that. We are going to go back. The original song for this week is a kind of a choir sort of song. Oh, we got the reviews coming in that people thought it was good so far, at least one. I know it's just I like it, even though I recognize some of the people that are going to be listening. Maybe I don't know how they feel about it, but as I listened to it, I was like, oh dang, I like it. I don't know how often I would play it, but I really liked it. So, all right, we've got a song here. We Raise a Mighty Song is what it's called. It's an original. I created it and have since forgotten the story behind it, of why I created it, what it was connected to. Often it's connected to scriptures or maybe a lesson at church. I think this one maybe was a lesson in church about prayer or something like that. Um, uh, so we, it's just a good song. It's a nice, comforting song. Let's take a listen it's called We Rise a Mighty Song. We Raise a Mighty Song. Okay, I hope you enjoyed all the songs from this week. the most we've ever done in a show, the longest show we've ever done, but we got through them pretty quickly. That was 22 tracks. Now, keep an eye out in the future for these songs starting to head their way, the previous episodes that we've done, heading their way to Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon, iHeartRadio. There's a couple others. We're going to try to get the albums in there and then make some cool playlists once they're into things like Spotify. I'll definitely be making some playlists, which will be fun to do the playlists now that we have over 100 songs. From this week, McKenna's favorite was the indie song. So she'll probably be looking forward to that one, making it onto Spotify or wherever she listens to music and be able to listen to that song. I will be very interested to see if other people make some playlists of their favorites. Maybe I'll do some sort of incentive for people to do playlists of their favorites from Soundtrack Sunday. Ooh, I would love to do that. Give me some ideas of what to do there and maybe some incentives. I just think that would be great. Oh, that makes me really happy to think about, actually. So hopefully I can get on that pretty soon. I will be traveling. I need to actually go and pack because in 12 hours I will be on a plane to Europe. So I better pack and I better get ready, I guess. So I hope you enjoyed today. Thanks for everyone that's listening all the way through. We did get it done in under 2 hours, so that was pretty fun. We had a moment of a little bit of temporary glitch, but then things smoothed out, technologically speaking. My computer is still hot. It's been working hard, so we'll give it a break. Thanks everyone for listening, to those that come in a little bit later and those that were live. Have a wonderful Sunday or whatever day you are listening. Peace out.